Sam, we need to go back to the future. I think is what I'm trying to say. We made a vow.
I can't hear you. I'm cooking up in the kitchen. I'm trying to make kitchen sounds, but I don't. Sorry, I'm too busy pouring flour and sugar together.
Oh wow, you know your stuff.
Just doing some amazing Foley work. Oh, I'm fucking spilling coffee all over my computer and myself.
All for
is this the price that is to be paid for sweets?
Wow, you know your stuff. That's crazy.
Yeah, not to brag, but
well, I should have said we need to go bake to the future. No, this is what's going on here.
Should we start again?
Well,
you're recording, by the way. I'm
not even trying to talk about the baking part yet. I'm trying to talk about how we made a vow to one another to never utter a certain band's name on this feed ever again.
Oh, this is the normies are getting this, eh?
Because we can't just paywall such a momentous guest. He doesn't deserve that treatment because
that's true.
Just because the Bake Off bigwigs wouldn't let him come on while we still exist. So we need to look. We've made some hard rules. I don't want to paywall this, and I also think we need to just go bake to the future and talk about Blink 182. And maybe we need to explain who we even are in case there's new people listening.
Right, good call.
What's going on? I mean, so Sam, who are you? What is this?
I'm Sam Sutherland, one of the co-hosts of 155. Now, before you and I dedicated our lives to uncovering the nuanced meaning of the term punk rock, we had dedicated our lives to the much more specific meaning of a band called Blink-182. So before this podcast was 155, people might not know this. It used to be called Blink-155, and it was named such because, and I guess we got to be honest with people here, at the time, Blink-182, the band, had 155 songs in their catalog, and our intention was to discuss every single one of them in a brief weekly episode.
Which quickly became sometimes above the 3-hour mark in length. And so now we've kind of pretended to shorten our podcast, and we've just taken 1 hour of that and made it paywalled, and people are paying up for it. So if you want to get involved with if you want to be on the ground floor of this new pursuit, you can go to patreon.com/155pod, and you can get into just trust me, the way that the Blink-182 podcast grew, this new one is going to get psychotic. I mean, we are literally building a cult from scratch.
It's filling me with an unearned sense of power that I can only assume is going to make the people in my real life very happy.
If you want somebody,
goes to my brain.
If you want to appear in a true crime doc and then have sort of a stunt casted actor play you in the Ryan Murphy series about the cult, both of these things are probably going to happen in 10 to 15 years. So you could get into the ground floor of this cult right now if you visit that Patreon. But of course, we're going Bake to the future right now. We're talking about the past, which is back when we used to discuss Blink-182 every week. Well,
you should introduce yourself, by the way. I don't know that people would know who you are. Just
well, they probably know who people probably know. I mean,
people know. Definitely know.
That's pretty alpha to make you introduce yourself. I feel well, I'm kind of a known entity, so
yeah, that's fair. Well, you are the one, as discussed, with the official handle on the sort of chat server in which we are now talking.
It's true. Yeah, I mean,
impression of myself.
You can get into the Discord if you join the Patreon. There's all kinds of stuff. But if this is your first time here, we used to be a Blink-182 podcast. My name is Josiah Hughes, and I am a teen TikTok star. And we used to discuss a different Blink-182 song every week. Now, around the time that we knew we were wrapping down, the Great British Bake Off launched its 11th season. The first season with Matt Lucas as co-host alongside Noel Fielding. And on the very first episode, I mean, you even know this, Sam, and you don't even watch the Great British Bake Off, and I still can't believe you don't watch it, and I really wish you would, because you would just be absolutely delighted. What's holding you back? What's holding you back?
The effort. There's too many shows that I want to watch that are already on services that I pay for. And so the only things that I will illegally download are only those most the sweetest of treats. And to be honest, when it comes to cooking shows, already not my favorite genre of reality, you go further down the funnel into baking shows, and then you add that like incredibly bald guy. Is that what's his name?
He's a little too bald. Look, just in case,
he's just too bald.
There's a chance that like the real people from the show will be listening, so we're gonna not.
I just want to say, all respect, I don't even know how you maintain that degree of sort of shiny baldness. So it's mostly that I'm jealous of just the orb-like quality of that man's incredibly sheened dome.
And also, in case people from Great British Bake Off are listening, you can watch it legally in Canada on CBC Gem. So, but I also got links. If anyone needs links, I got you. So, but anyways, even despite not watching the show, you saw the Tom DeLonge. I mean,
I saw
like somehow all of life for the last few years has just been sort of pivoted around the idea of Tom DeLonge. So much so that even this baking reality show that is more popular than the World Cup, I believe, somehow had a Tom DeLonge angle. And the Tom DeLonge cake was made by Dave Friday, who quickly became an online friend of mine. I mean, he followed us back, and then I was DMing him throughout the season, but he was not allowed to come on our podcast while it was still a Blink-182 podcast. That's how tight they
were just jealous. Is that the problem?
Trying to think of
to start up like a 7th or 8th Blink-182 podcast.
I'm just trying to think of a baking term. They were trying to keep it in the proving drawer until. I don't really know what proving is either, but I know about it. No,
they were waiting for the yeast to rise on the finale of their show.
It's true, and now the yeast is so risen. I got a full blown yeast infection. That's why Dave Friday is finally here. But there's a few things. So Dave Friday, he does talk about his job in the interview a little bit, his day job. I asked him for more details, and he's like, I can't actually tell you because it's like a secure. He's like an armed security guard or something. Which like being armed in Britain is like. It's different than being in North America, where especially in America, everyone just like gives you a gun every day.
Yeah, aren't there like a dozen people with guns in America?
And we got
James Bond.
You mean in Britain? Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry. The opposite. I guess really the opposite.
It's true. Yeah, and we got one of them on the pod right now for this bonus episode. So. There's that I wanted to say.
It's definitely an MI6 for sure.
The other thing that was just kind of like a complete pod circle was the first episode Dave Friday made this Tom DeLonge cake. I mean, you saw the cake. What did you think of the cake, Sam?
Listen, I'm sure Dave Friday is a great person, and I don't know anything about baking. But to my eye, one of the reasons that the Tom cake went so viral is it was just incredible that someone had made a cake out of Tom DeLonge, but also it was like a little unsettling looking. There was like some uncanny, Sweetness Valley happening in his depiction of Tom. Better than anything I could do. Don't get me wrong.
I'm guessing you didn't see the others from the episode. Then I'm just sending.
I did not. So
just take a look at the one I just sent you in here in Discord.
Did Dave Friday?
This is Lupita Nyong'o that I just sent you.
Whoa. Oh my goodness.
That one kind of has still sort of embedded itself in my brain.
I'm going to have a dream about this cake and it's
imagine if it like just sort of the JPEG came to life and it made eye contact with you and said something. Like that would, be so scary. And of course there's Freddie Mercury and David Bowie. I mean, all of the cakes were very.
Who won?
I'm trying to remember who got Star Baker in that episode. Who won the whole show? I mean, I don't want to do any spoilers.
No spoilies. I more want to know in the context of these cakes. Oh, wow. Okay, who's the...
It was all very Cronenbergian.
Cake.
I think
there's something deeply body horrific about all of these.
That person's name, I think, is David Thoreau. He's like some sort of like British like meta journalist type of guy that like smart people. He's sort of like... Oh, Louis Theroux, sorry.
Oh, yeah.
He's like a guy. I don't even know if there's an American.
There isn't. But yeah, he's like there. Because then there was like the New Zealand.
The tickling guy.
Louis through, yeah. Who sort of like was the kind of budget Louis, and then like from time to time,
I feel like they're both just like Morgan Spurlock type people, but like they pretend to be a little bit smarter.
Yeah, that's it. It's just like Morgan Spurlock with like more pretension.
Okay, I'm trying to figure out who won.
But actually, like now that I'm looking at both these cakes, like I think the Louis cake is like pretty good, but maybe the Tom cake was the best cake.
Yeah,
Between these ones that you're showing me, like this sort
the
of
David Bowie one looks
disturbing-
like Basket Case, the movie Basket Case.
Yeah. Fully, it looks like something I'd keep in my Times Square hotel.
The Lupita one, I feel like I can't even process or put into words because I just feel like it shouldn't. It's just so wrong that it just shouldn't.
It's against God. Absolutely.
It is.
And the Freddie Mercury one is like as good of a reproduction of Freddie Mercury as Rami Malek. So Oscar-winning performance.
That's true.
Was Bohemian Rhapsody. So,
but yeah, so the Tom DeLonge cake did go viral in part because of its jankiness. Tom DeLonge himself posted about it. I've been dying to talk to Dave Friday about the Tom DeLonge cake. He's finally here. We're letting ourselves say Blink-182 on Main one more time because of Dave Friday, because the bigwigs at Bake Off wouldn't allow it. So, I mean, Sam, I don't know if are you ready? Are you ready to go into? I'm trying to I have no puns in me right now. I'm
ready to take a dive into the bowl of flour. Like this really should have been your job. The proving drawer sounds like something from a young adult novel.
But again, if you're listening to this for the first time, I know that our feed is a mess. I know it's very confusing. If you go to patreon.com/155pod, all will be explained. You will be welcomed into the cult. And one day David Thoreau or the New Zealand Tickle Man will make a documentary about you. And it will probably be a little bit exploitative, but in a pretentious kind of way.
So, it'll still be cool.
So on your mark, get set, blink.
Blink-182.
So we're breaking our own. Sam and I said we weren't going to talk about Blink-182 anymore. We've been bleeping the word Blink-182 from our new episodes. We were so sick of talking about Blink-182, but the damn big wigs at the Great British Bake Off would not allow our guests to come on just until the timing was so perfect that I think the show ended the same week that we ran out of Blink-182 songs. And so we're bringing it back one last time because we had to get you on the show as a guest. Welcome to the show, Dave Friday.
Cheers for having me on.
Well, how's it going? What's new with you?
Oh yeah, it's really good. Obviously, new son Ronnie, and recently engaged. So yeah, all things are going well.
No kidding. Yeah, there's so much has happened. I guess my first question that I probably could have looked up, but when did Bake Off actually get filmed this year?
So the filming started at the beginning of July until the middle of August.
Okay, so you've been sitting on this knowledge that you were essentially second place for quite a while.
Yes, yeah, I've been keeping it secret and quiet for quite a long time, but it's been quite fun tricking people into thinking that I may have gone out sooner than what I was,
right.
Having them on for.
Yeah. Something that's kind of something that's happened with us is like being obsessed with Blink-182 has kind of changed our lives. And whenever we talk about Blink-182, like we just kind of see Blink-182 everywhere now. And then the fact that you started the show, this is my theory, okay? So you started up the very first episode of Bake Off, season 11. It was season 11, right? Yeah. You did the Tom DeLonge cake. We're going to talk about the Tom DeLonge cake more in a second. I think that set you on a journey that you were set to win the show because you had Tom DeLonge on your side. But here's the other thing. We spent 3.5 years trying to get Tom DeLonge on our show. We had Mark on our show. We had an email from Scott Rayner. We got close to everyone, but Tom DeLonge never wrote us back. And so I'm mad at Tom DeLonge now. And I think if Tom DeLonge had gone on our show, the pod magic would have made it so that you won with that Tom DeLonge cake kicking off. But I think it's because Tom DeLonge fucked everything up for everyone by not coming on our show. So I think it's his fault.
Yeah.
To get started, though, how did you decide to make the Tom DeLonge cake? I mean...
Well, it was a brief of like a hero to you or like a childhood hero. So when I was growing up And in school, I just wanted to be like Tom DeLonge. So obviously, I gauged my ear. I got my lip pierced. I tried getting the fringe over the one side. So it was more like I idolized him as a child, so that he was my childhood hero.
Yeah. Did you ever see this BBC TV show that we discovered through the podcast? I don't think anyone's ever seen it, but it's called All the Small Things. It's from 10 years ago. It's about a choir, and it's basically this woman runs a choir in a small church, and her son is obsessed with Tom DeLonge, and he won't ever stop talking about Tom DeLonge, and so they start covering Blink-182 songs in the choir.
Wow, really?
Yeah, I'll email you some clips from it later. It's absolutely ridiculous, but I think there's a lot of people who what was it about Tom DeLonge that you idolized as a child?
I guess looking back, obviously I'm comfortable with my sexuality. I guess he was just a handsome bloke back then, wasn't he? So he's like, I want to be like him. I want to be as handsome as he is.
Yeah, amazing. How did you get? Also, I think you say Blink-182, but most British people seem to say Blink-182.
Yeah, I always say Blink-182. I guess that's how I was brought up with listening to them. That's how they're known.
Right.
And I'm guessing you say the same, do you?
Yeah, we do. But even British people who listen to our show would call it Blink-155. So it's so weird. I don't understand why some do and some don't. But I guess, well, here's the other thing. I don't know. How much have you like when you go on Bake Off, do you read blog posts about yourself, or do you Google yourself?
I have done. I don't tend to read too much of it because there's quite a bit of negative out there, and there's a load of positive. There's more positive than negative, but it's always a negative that pops up. So you try and avoid that because it does beat you down a little bit.
It can get under your skin. You can read 100 positive things and then one negative thing. Yeah. But there was a hilarious blog post that I don't know if you saw, that I also noticed this myself as well, kind of about you specifically, is that you seem to be obsessed with California and with sort of palm trees and that kind of stuff.
It's a bit weird. I guess I'd like to think that I'd like to be a surfer. I'm not that. I've only surfed once. That was down in Newquay. But no, I'd love to visit California. It is a great place. But I did see that post that you're on about. We had to wear unbranded clothes for the show because we're not allowed to advertise any clothing.
Oh, okay.
So we was in a lockdown, and all my brands are like Animal, Vans, O'Neill. They're all that sort of stuff. So I couldn't wear it for the show. So we got a clothing store here called Next. I don't know if you've heard of Next.
Yeah, I think I have. Yeah.
And all their summer range just seemed to be set in California. So they'd have a California top. One was a Santa Monica, and one was Santa Barbara.
Right. So it's more because of Next, you think?
Yeah, I think it's more because of Next. But no, I would love to visit California. And obviously, we were talking about it with Noel, watching about Point Break.
Yeah.
Surfers.
So wait, you've never been to California?
Never been to the States.
Oh my God.
Or Canada.
Yeah, that's where we are. Wow. Well, when lockdown's over, I mean, I think if you go to San Diego, you'll be received with open arms.
Yeah, hopefully that'd be good. Yeah. I need a book a flight whenever we're allowed to go traveling again.
Yeah. So wait, do you have to bring your own clothes to the Bake Off?
We did. Yeah.
And
where we stayed in the.
The thing I'm always confused by is it's 2 days of baking. Unless that's a lie too, or is it actually 2 days every episode?
So originally, yes. Originally, they'd do the filming over the weekend, so it'd be Saturday and then Sunday. So Saturday would be the signature and the technical, and the Sunday would be the showstopper. But because of COVID and all that, we had to self-isolate and go into a hotel.
Yeah.
So the filming schedule was 2 days on, 2 days off. So you'd have 2 days of solid filming. So one day and then the second day.
Right.
And then after that, you'd have 2 days off. Them 2 days off were practicing for the next week.
That's so intense.
It was relentless. We felt like baking slaves.
Yeah, no kidding. But so do you bring two two of every outfit, or like you're just putting on the same clothes the second day that you've gotten all kinds of stuff over?
Luckily, most of it went on the aprons, but they had a whole washing machine section for us to wash our clothes. So it used to be a 45-minute quick spin.
That's crazy. Okay, so you were supposed to do like a cake that was about a childhood hero. You chose Tom DeLonge because you thought he was a hottie when you were young. You correctly thought he was a hottie that you wanted to be like when you were younger.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so many questions, but first of all, how did you come up with that drawing of, like, how did you visualize the exact look of him?
Right, the look I went for was, if you Google Tom DeLonge young, there's one picture of him holding a guitar like that, pulling a quirky face. That's what it was based on, and he had his cap to the side.
Right.
That's what it was based on, and trying to carve a head out of cake is just so impossible. It ended up so fat that that's why it looked like that, because I couldn't slim it down. It was just so hard to carve that cake.
Right. I mean, I think that was probably the funniest episode of the show I've watched every episode of the show. I'm obsessed, but that was like, it wasn't just yours. They were all so fun. Like the Lupita Nyong'o one I was dying from that one as well.
I think with that challenge we were set up to fail, because professional bakers would take probably about there is one woman that does hers online, and she says that she takes about 36 hours to complete hers. Right.
Well, there's so many things like that. I mean, who's asking people to bake in a 35-degree weather tent?
Yeah. Who's asking for a cake bust anyway?
Yeah, exactly. So obviously it must have felt pretty good for Tom DeLonge to have seen the cake.
I couldn't. But I said, when I finished filming, I was like, I hope Tom DeLonge doesn't see this, because this is so embarrassing. But it's been received well, I think.
Did you see somebody put the cake on his body, like that memes?
Yeah, it's brilliant.
So, how did you get introduced to Blink-182?
I guess my friend at school, he was 2 years older than me at school, so he was a neighbour of mine, and his brother was really into loads of music, and then it got passed on to him and then to me. So that's where I got all that sort of music from.
Yeah. What were some of the other bands you were into along with Blink-182?
So there's like Limp Bizkit, Linkin Park, Korn, all sorts of stuff like that.
Oh, wow. That would have been so cool, a Fred Durst cake. I think as his head got fatter, you could have turned him into Fred Durst, maybe.
Yeah. Could have done.
Okay, so you're kind of more on the nu metal side of things as well, then.
Yeah. So it's like, obviously I like Sum 41, Green Day. Mm-hmm. I used to listen to Taking Back Sunday and stuff like that. And there's a band that a few of my friends never heard of was Hidden in Plain View.
Oh, I think I've seen the name, but I don't think I've heard them either.
They're really good. And another band that I used to listen to that split up, and they were very niche, was a band called Race the Sun.
Okay.
They were in America as well. They're based in America, but I think they did one small tour. I came across their album. I think they were being promoted by My Chemical Romance at the time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they're called Race the Sun, and I used to really love listening to that music as well, but they only did release one album.
Oh, okay. Well, it does seem like Blink-182's kind of touched everyone. Like, I mean, there's people who listen to the most underground music in the world who secretly love Blink-182, and then there's people who listen to the radio who love Blink-182. I was kind of disappointed, as I told you. I mean, I've been DMing you this whole time as well, which I hope I haven't been too annoying, but it's
no, it's absolutely fine.
It's exciting to have someone on the inside while you're watching Bake Off. But I DM'd you. I was quite disappointed that Noel pretended he never heard Blink-182 before?
Surely not. I don't know, because obviously they must get briefed on what we're doing. He must have known who Blink-182 are, because you must have a sheltered life if you don't know who Blink are.
Yeah. Noel Fielding is too sheltered to know about Blink-182. That's
Exactly. I know he's into his he's really into his English music because he's good friends with Serge from Kasabian.
yeah.
So
Well, I do think some people are too cool for Blink-182 as well. So maybe he just didn't want to get involved.
He didn't want to admit it. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. But so for you, what's kind of the Blink-182 era that's your favorite?
It's got to be Take Off Your Pants and Jacket or Enema of the State, really.
Yeah.
But, my favourite songs are off. One's off the Tom, Mark and Travis show, which was their only single, and that was "Man Overboard."
Yeah, such a great
which
song.
I really like. Yeah, and I love the song "Not Now."
Oh yeah, yeah, that one's that's like a very emotional kind of one.
Yeah, I really like that one.
Nice. And so do you have you found that you've grown out of Blink-182 as you've gotten older, or do you still listen to them?
I rekindled with it and started listening to it again a couple of years ago. But I always put it on when I'm baking and that. I really enjoy it.
Yeah.
Because my music that I listen to is very open.
Okay.
I listen to quite a lot of different music, chart music. During the day while I'm at work, I listen to BBC Radio 1, which is obviously one of the biggest radio stations in the UK.
Yeah.
So they play all sorts of music, but normally they do like a 10-minute takeover sometimes where the listeners get to choose what they want. And it's quite often Blink-182.
Yeah, really? So everyone... I mean, your songs are kind of those are the signs of a true fan. You didn't say your favorite song is All the Small Things or something, kind of...
Yeah. No, yeah. And Not Now was only on... I don't even think it was released on a mainstream album. I think it was one of the ones with bonus tracks.
Yeah, I think you might be right. I can't remember. I don't host a Blink-182 podcast anymore, so...
But I used to listen to the Tom, Mark and Travis show album over and over again. Just listening to them live was brilliant, and their little they got clippets of what they say to the crowd.
Yeah,
at the end.
It's insane.
Must have been a good show to be at.
Yeah, have you seen them live before?
No, I really wanted to, but I couldn't get tickets when they last came to the UK with Tom DeLonge, I think it was. I couldn't get tickets, and obviously I've never been to the States, so unfortunately I never got to see them.
Yeah, wow, you got to go to I can't wait for you to go to the States. I mean, it's gonna be huge for you. People are gonna. Yeah. So, other than Tom DeLonge posting about it, did he contact you at all or anything?
His tour manager did.
Oh, really? What did he say?
Basically, that when he comes to the UK, I'm invited as guest of the band to one of his shows.
Amazing. That's awesome. Will you ever? Will you bake him the cake? You're gonna have to make the cake again.
No, I said you'll have to let me know what he likes, and I'll bake him something that he does like.
Right. Okay. Wow, that's so funny. So, is Tom pretty much your guy? Do you relate more to Tom than Mark?
Yeah, I'd say so. But I do like Mark. I liked the Mark, Tom, and Travis. I liked that band.
Yeah, yeah.
So I've listened to their new stuff. Obviously, it's never going to be their old stuff, is it?
Yeah, it's hard to figure out. I mean, it's also kind of hard to figure out what are you supposed to do when you get older and you've had these perfect albums, and then you're kind of how are you supposed to age out of that? What are they supposed to do? I don't really know.
Exactly. I also like Boxcar. Boxcar Racer is good.
Oh yeah, they're sick. They're so good. Amazing. So one thing that I was thinking of baking and Blink-182 and the kind of, I mean, you're obviously the center of that Venn diagram now. But the other thing is, everyone who's a Blink-182 fan has probably had at some point in their life a birthday cake made for them that says either "What's my age again?" or when they turn 23, nobody likes you when you're 23. Have you had either of those for yourself?
I have not. No, unfortunately, I haven't.
Oh, that's too bad. And then the other thing so as I told you, the week of our final show, somebody made us a Blink-155 cake that had my cat, Woody, on the side and everything. And
Oh, wow.
I don't know. It's probably just, I don't know if it meets your standard, but it was the first time I've eaten fondant since watching Bake Off so much. And I was like, after 2 bites, I was like, this is disgusting.
Fondant is sickly.
But
I use modeling chocolate to do Tom's face.
Oh, really? So did it taste better?
Yes, it was white chocolate, modeling chocolate.
Oh, wow. How did you learn how to do all this stuff?
Just mainly like YouTube and like watching videos on the internet, really.
Really?
Yeah, I don't really do recipe books and stuff like that much.
So you're just like a DIY baker.
DIY baker, yeah. I saw a loaf of bread in the store and I thought, well, if they can make one, I'll make one.
Wow. That's so cool. And so, I mean, I got to say again, I mean, I said this to you in the DMs as well, but it's so cool that your final challenge was to try to fix the things that you had messed up before. I mean, that was really a brave move. I think you almost nailed it. But what are your favorite things to bake?
I'd say probably pastries. So making like puff pastry from scratch, so developing the layers and like making something as simple as what you'd see in the shop as a croissant, but putting all the work into it.
Right.
So much work involved in making croissants, you wouldn't know.
Do you guys try each other's food when you're on Bake Off?
Yeah, we do. Yeah. So they get taken up into our like baker's lounge afterwards once the challenge was over, and then you'd get to try each other's bakes. Or in the practice tent, we got to try each other's.
Oh, nice. Amazing. Oh, I wish I could try it all. I mean, there's only so many ways you can watch people eat food on TV and kind of imagine what it tastes like, you know? They gotta figure out some technology where we can taste it.
Yeah, like a smell aroma to come out.
Yeah, exactly. Did you meet any other Blink-182 fans on the show? Was anyone else like stoked on your Tom DeLonge cake?
No one else really knew who Tom DeLonge was. Lottie does. Lottie knows who Tom DeLonge is.
Yeah.
And then she was like, "Oh, funny that. I was thinking that you look like him, to be honest." So I thought, "Oh, well, there we go. That's why I chose to do him as my cake."
You nailed. That's perfect. As long as she meant you look like the real Tom DeLonge and not the cake.
Yeah. Hopefully not.
So, what are you going to work on now that you're done?
I'm going to try and learn how to do like bake-alongs, like videos of me baking and then instructing how to do it. So sort of like a visual book sort of thing. So, you know, like people do YouTube tutorials.
Right. Cool.
But hopefully something like that. I need to sort out my kitchen with the lighting and that, because the lighting's quite white in here.
Right.
So the shadowing isn't great.
Okay. I hope that you kind of keep going down the Tom DeLonge path. Like you could do maybe make all the other members, you know, make a Travis Barker cake. That'd be pretty fun.
That'd be cool, wouldn't it? Or like a drum kit cake.
Oh yeah. Well, I was thinking like, you know, all the tattoos. I don't know. You could have to paint them on or something.
God, that'd be some hours, wouldn't it?
Yeah, exactly. But then you could keep going and do Gerard Way and, you know, the whole,
Yeah.
just kind of, you should just become like the emo baker.
The emo baker. No, I was thinking of trying to see if I can get some more tequila and stuff.
Oh, yeah. That's a good idea. Nice. So, congratulations. Yeah, you've gotten engaged and you've had a baby during this time.
Yeah, it's been a bit of a mad year for me. Yeah,
That's ridiculous. Wow. And so you still are working full time, and you wake up at 4. What time we had to do this early because you wake up at 4 a.m. or something?
Yeah, so I'm off tomorrow, but this morning I was up at 4 a.m.
That's ridiculous.
4 a.m. and I leave the house at 4:30, so I give myself half an hour to get ready. Got to work at 5:30 to start for 6, and then start my route, and then it's basically job and try and finish. And finished at 5:30 this evening.
Wow. And then you had to talk to me about that Tom DeLonge cake. Are you sick of talking about the Tom DeLonge cake yet? And if not, I mean, it's going to follow you. I think it's going to follow you forever.
Absolutely not. Yeah, I think it will do. But it's good. It's good that people remember that as well, because it's my first bake on the show, basically.
Yeah.
But I never called it 3 Flavors of Tom DeLonge. That's what the show chose to call it.
Oh, really? Did you have a name for it?
Yeah, just Tom DeLonge cake.
Tom DeLonge cake.
just what it was. But the flavors I went for is because I tried to. Because the board that it was based on as well, the board was painted white.
Okay.
With teal and hot pink colours, as like the same sort of colours that appeared on their self-titled album.
Right. Yeah. And the inside was those colors too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because the cake that somebody baked us for our final episode also had the colors inside. So I was like,
really?
Hell yeah.
But
yeah.
I wanted flavours to correspond with the colours. That's why I went for mint and strawberry. But mint and strawberry can go together, but I guess I overpowered it with the mint.
Right. Yeah, that's kind of like makes me think of getting my teeth cleaned with fluoride or something.
Yeah, Prue said it was a bit toothpastey.
So Prue and Paul Hollywood are not Blink-182 fans either?
No, they had no idea who he was. I had to show him a little picture of Tom DeLonge based on.
But now that you've gotten the last laugh because that's the one that stood out from the whole episode, and I mean that episode also had the Freddie Mercury and the
that Laura liked that as well. How much people took the piss out of that. She actually enjoyed the piss take of that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure in the moment maybe you're more stressed about how janky it looked, but
yeah. I think the best feature on it was the hat.
Oh yeah, I mean the lip ring was a great touch as well, but
and I gauged his ears.
So good. I was always curious, like, how did they draw? Do you tell them what you want it to look like and they draw it, or did they draw it after you've? Because what if you fuck up the bake so bad, and then how do they draw that?
I think if you fuck it up so bad, they tart it up a little bit to look like what you wanted it to look like.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, they based it on my final bake rather than like practice bakes.
Oh, okay.
Some of my practice bakes were getting there. They were looking better, but because I wanted to carve the face while it was on there, I was running out of time so much that I had to pre-make the ears, pre-make the nose, pre-make the mouth, and just stick it on.
Oh my god! Oh, it's so good. Well, you nailed it, and you're the winner in our hearts. Even though Peter obviously did great as well, but he never made Tom DeLonge. What did he even make in week 1 for the head? I don't even remember.
It's a guy called Sir Chris Hoy.
Never. So
heard
what pop punk band is he from?
He's just a cyclist.
Yeah, who cares?
He's just an Olympic cyclist. That's all.
Yeah, screw that. What hits has he written?
Hit the tarmac.
Very good. Very good. All right. Well, where should people keep up with you? You want to plug anything?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. No. What do I want to plug anything?
Yeah.
No, I don't think there's anything to plug. No, but nothing going at the moment.
But people can follow you on Instagram. Are you on Twitter as well, or?
No, not on Twitter because it's pretty toxic there. So I've left that at the moment.
Okay.
I might join Twitter again in the future, but not interested in that at the moment. But hopefully YouTube soon. But you can follow me on Instagram.
Okay, yeah, cool. I'll put a link in there. It did seem like that was a narrative this year that Bake Off was extra toxic for the contestants, or has it always been that way for the contestants?
It is always that way. Some of the previous bakers of last year and that had it quite bad. But I think with lockdown, people are more vicious this year.
Really?
Because of lockdown, people are like more tense for some reason, so they seem to just air their opinions online.
Yeah. And so it's like they're like, you don't have to go into it if you don't want, but like, what did you experience? Like, what were people? Is it about like the bait? Like they think someone shouldn't have won, or is it meaner than that? Or
no, they were saying that I was arrogant and that I was smug, but I'm completely the opposite. My character, I would say, is reserved, so I don't express my emotions openly to anyone. I have to know them first to open up to people. So that first episode and building up, I was still trying to talk to all the new bakers and that.
Yeah.
We all only met like 5 days ago.
Yeah.
So my character's quite reserved, and like I was just proud of what I managed to do. So I wasn't smug. I was just happy with myself that I managed to like make this stuff and achieve the fact that I've got onto the final.
Right. Plus, there must be some things that are, the editing shapes how people view you as well, right?
Yeah, I think with Sura, then she knocked the cakes out of my hand. Obviously, there was a panic that they've edited out, so I think they've edited it as well as they could, but it looked like I just walked off.
Yeah.
Whereas I didn't. They basically said, "Oh, we'll sort this out. Go sit down."
Yeah.
So I just went back.
I mean,
that was the first day of filming. So we didn't really know what to do in a situation like that.
Right. Plus, I thought you, even with the edit, I thought you seemed pretty gracious. I mean, I would have been pissed off.
People were like, "Oh, look at him, he's stormed off. Oh, he doesn't even help her," and stuff like that. And then people were saying that, like throughout this series, I was just arrogant, but not really arrogant, just, I guess, shy and reserved.
Right. Well, you can be a little bit arrogant. You made the fucking Tom DeLonge cake, bro.
There is that.